level of production you kind of expect from Luka and from Austin. Just wondered what you've seen from LaRavia specifically. And as an add-on to that, I think he mentioned in Minnesota that maybe he spoke to you and maybe Rob as well, but before that game, and kind of wondered what those conversations were and kind of how he's been since then.
Those are very vague. Maybe.
So he mentioned it in the walk-off, but I didn't give the details of it. But just said you guys spoke about kind of him, tell him to be himself or something. But
yeah, we talk every day, so
yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think that was an abnormal conversation or anything like that. But he was great. For us to have 33 assists and 6 guys in double figures, they're really the easiest way. They're a team that makes you pass the ball because they simultaneously paint swarm with 3 or 4 weak side defenders, and they help off the strong side corner. We missed at least 4, if not more, wide open strong side corner threes on drives. Didn't like the way we started offensively in the third quarter. Didn't put any pressure on the paint. Called that timeout. I think the next 3 or 4 possessions, AR and Luka were really aggressive in getting in the paint, and that got our offense going again. But Jake was just another great game from him. He's allowing the game to come to him. He's comfortable with the off-ball stuff and the cutting and just reading the game right now. And not surprised that he's found a level of comfort. Just from coaching against him last year, watching him play when he did play his first couple years. He's got a knack for the game. He does. He just knows how to play. He's solid in a number of areas, and I think he's a great complement to our main guys, and he's starring in his own way right now, which is awesome.
After the Memphis game, Luka said there was probably 4 or 5 shots he could have been a little more disciplined on. Tonight he goes 1 for 11 from 3. Was that a result of shots that maybe he could have had a better shot selection on, and then just overall? You've mentioned this before. He plays with joy, because it is a game. What's your tolerance for those type of shots?
Yeah, I didn't think that. I didn't off the top of my head. I don't remember there being like a bad. I mean, a couple of them were end of shot clock, trying to get a basket or a ball on the basket and touch the rim, like one of AR's as well. So I think when you're a primary guy, you're naturally going to take some of those. I didn't think any of the other ones were bad shots. He just maybe, I don't know, just an off night shooting the ball, but he's got a triple double on an off night, so not bad.
Kind of 2 for you. Your 2 best offensive players missed, I think, 26 combined shots on a night when you still shot 50%. From the field. What is it about? Is that gravity? Is it their playmaking for others? What kind of allowed the offense to still function, even though those guys weren't putting the ball in the basket at the same level of efficiency that this team's been accustomed to?
Yeah, I think it was a number of factors. We did a nice job of winning the possession battle, so we were able to get out in transition. From the first half, we did a great job on the defensive glass and held them to a low amount of offensive rebounds and got them to turn the ball over a little bit. So we were able to score in transition and score in early offense. Jackson did a great job throughout the game of getting behind the defense and rolling. Jake got some putbacks. So I think the sort of the loose change we were able to get offensively tonight, and we've had some of that, recently in some of these games as well. I thought the Minnesota game at Minnesota, we won that game because of our effort offense. So that's pleasing. And then again, I think it goes back just to the way Miami defends and their emphasis on playing help defense, and it's there's shift presentation, and there's a shift that's like literally trying to stop the basketball and create a turnover, and that's kind of how they do it. The only thing is, we our walkthrough at 3 hours before the game, the only thing we did offensively, we installed a play and we went over our zone offense, and I didn't think we were as organized as we should be in our zone offense, and I'll take some blame for that, but that was my only gripe really with the offense tonight.
And then when talking about Jake, earlier, you said like he just knows how to play basketball, and that seems sort of base, but I know for coaches like that's a pretty high compliment. What does it have like having players like
It's just
that?
it's simple stuff. It's a change of possession and him surveying the floor and figuring out what should my running pattern be here. Should I go put pressure on the rim, which he did tonight? Should I go space for a three, which he did tonight? Had 2 cuts to the basket. One was an ATO and one was just playing basketball. He had a face cut on Hawkes. Like he just has a really good feel. His knack for the basketball as a defender, his knack for the basketball as a rebounder. He just has a real intuitive feel for the game.
What is Marcus's hustle or defensive like playmaking moments? What does that do for the team's overall energy?
I've seen it now 3 or 4 times where it's an igniter. It gives us energy. There's I used to not think there was momentum in basketball. I do think there's momentum now, and I think those plays are momentum plays. They get the team going, and sometimes when there can be lulls in a game, and then there's that energy play, the hustle play, the physical play, whatever it may, taking a charge like he did tonight in the first half. It just ignites our team.
Hey, JJ, you mentioned a triple-double on an off night, and that's following 3 straight 40-point performances for Luka. Obviously, you talk to your guys all the time, but after everything he had been through coming into this season, if you could distill what your message was to him heading into this season?
In terms of what? I met with every player, and it was about what they wanted out of the season, and I think I've talked about the challenge to him and AR of taking ownership of being leaders, and so that's one thing. I think we're constantly trying to challenge him as a defender because I've seen him guard, and I know he can do it. And then him and I talk all the time about finding that balance of joy and competitiveness, and the focused joy, I think, is where he's at his best.